It's been 50 years since Martin Luther King's historic I Have a Dream speech. In that time, fewer than half of all Americans say the country has made substantial progress toward racial equality. That's according to a new Pew Research Center poll. The data shows 7 in 10 blacks and about a third of their white counterparts say blacks are treated less fairly when dealing with police. However, the data also shows 22% of blacks who have attended at least some college say the situation of black people in this country is better today than it was 5 years ago. Among those with a high school education or less, roughly 1/3 say things are better. Here in La Crosse, residents are marking the day with an annual community celebration. In honor of Martin Luther King Day, 2 members of our own community will receive leadership awards for their contributions to the city. News 18's MLK joins us in the studio with more on one of those recipients.
Bill Coleman is a retired art teacher from the La Crosse School District. He founded the Minority Studies Resource Center at UW La Crosse and introduced students at La Crosse School District to black culture through music. Coleman has lived here since the 70s, and he's seen a lot of changes come to the city. Looking forward, he's hoping to see many more.
It's a little poignant and loud, okay?
Bill Coleman can play a pretty mean drum solo.
Now when I do this, you can practically feel it in your chest.
It's a sound that once resonated with students in the La Crosse School District as well.
Sarah and I started the African Drum Group. Before then, there was nothing in school or nothing that I'd had ever done that ever paid attention to my heritage.
Back in the 70s, Coleman took a job at Logan Middle as an art teacher in a school district as white as a Wisconsin winter.
I hated it. I hated doing it because anytime I go in there, there's nobody in there like me.
For a lot of kids in La Crosse, he is the first black person they've ever known.
Decades later, Coleman is a prominent member of the community. This year, he's the winner of the La Crosse area's Martin Luther King Leadership Award for his work both in La Crosse's schools and at the university. Over the years, he's been a part of great changes in the city, but he says the work is far from finished.
It's like anywhere. More things change, the more they stay the same.
Across the country on Martin Luther King Day, pundits talk about racial disparity and economic advantages. Here in La Crosse, Coleman calls for more leadership for the black community.
The number of people of color do not see themselves represented. Kids who want to aspire to do things have to have somebody as a role model.
Coleman retired from teaching several years ago, and the school's African drum group has long been abandoned without his guidance. But his influence is far from over.
One-on-one with kids, he's made a huge difference.
Martin Luther King says, be the man you want to see.
Coleman wants to see a role model for kids in La Crosse. And if his drum playing isn't enough to give him that reputation, the legacy he's built certainly is. City Council member Dempsey Miller will also receive the Leadership Award at tonight's ceremony. He was the first African American to serve on the council. Miller has also worked as the African American Family Liaison for the La Crosse School District.
Thank you, Leah. The awards ceremony will take place at Viterbo's Fine Arts Center tonight at 7. Admission is free to the public.